Hey there, it's Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, here to share the night sky this week, your host for all things stargazing for the week of August 1st, 2023. This is a beginning of a new month, lots of really interesting things happening. I hope you had a great weekend this past weekend. Did you do any stargazing, any night sky watching? Please share it in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and what you've been seeing in the night sky. Always love seeing that. So, why don't we begin with something that's really an ongoing thing lately is things dealing with the sun, of course. And we're talking about another geomagnetic storm watch. Check this out. It's of my favorite website, spaceweather.com. Highly recommend it. And they're putting out a watch for a geomagnetic storm. They're possible on August 1st. So today, Tuesday, August 1st, there is a possibility that a CME, a coronal mass ejection, is expected to hit Earth's magnetic field. You can see this coronal mass ejection leaving the sun. Here's a video that was taken on the 28th, 29th of July, so just a few days ago. And you can see the sun is covered by a disk because it would just overpower the sensor. This is actually from a satellite called SOHO that is watching the sun 24/7, and it's covered the disk of the sun. But you can see here, if you look where I have my cursor here, see that? That is what we call the coronal mass ejection. I talk so much about this, basically a cloud of charged particles that gets thrown off the sun. That's right here. And Earth is down in this region of just off the screen here, the picture. But this is heading towards Earth. And it's supposed to arrive, this cloud of charged particles is supposed to arrive today. The CME was hurled almost directly towards Earth by an eruption of a magnetic filament in the sun's northern hemisphere on the 28th. Well, take a look at the picture here. We can see the northern part right here. You see that? See that kind of shaded dark thing? Just watch. See that right there? That is the filament, the magnetic twisted lines filament of plasma leaving the surface of the sun, sort of like you can think of it as a jet or a geyser-like formation that just twists up, or like a little tornado almost of plasma leaving the, and it's mostly like radiation, actually, like a lot of X-ray radiation and such, gamma ray, radio waves leaving. And this is incredible. This is what basically hurled that cloud of charged particles. So this is really amazing. And you can see here, look at all the sunspots. Check out this big one over here. All these sunspots are bigger than the Earth, our entire planet. And these are the locations where these eruptions can occur on the surface of the sun. So if you happen to have, let me see if I have any here. Do I have? Yes, I do. I have a eclipse glasses. So if you have something like this, simple, maybe you watched an eclipse back in 2017 if you're in North America, or maybe you've seen another eclipse, and you have one of these handy. This will allow you to safely look at the disk of the sun, and you can actually see these sunspots with these glasses. There's nothing else you'll be able to see because it's so dark, but the disk of the sun is visible through this, and you can see those sunspots. They're that large. It's really incredible. The sun is in the upswing of its solar cycle, so there's a lot of these sunspots scattered on the surface of our star right now, and that's why we're talking about the geomagnetic storm that's potentially reaching us today. So keep watch. Spaceweather.com is a great site. And if you see here on the left-hand side, you see this map? There's maps for Europe, USA, even Antarctica, and New Zealand, the southern hemisphere, to see where the auroras are. You see these green things? They're over, this green blob is overlaying the outline of the continents, like the European, Asian continents, and North America. And you can see where the auroras are currently visible. You can see they're visible in the Arctic region across Siberia right now, and Scandinavia. But here in North America, where I'm actually located down here on the eastern northeastern portion of the continent. I I'm hoping maybe it might be strong enough for something to be visible. So we'll have to see what is up, but do go there. It's a great site, spaceweather.com. So that is something definitely worth looking at. So get out those eclipse glasses, look at the sun, and cross our fingers that tonight, August 1st, we'll see something. Now, let's jump into the planetarium program. This is the one I use, Sky Safari Pro. Fantastic planetarium program. Highly recommend it. And we've got our skies here for August 1st, Tuesday evening, just after sunset. So as soon as the sun sets, look what you've got here. You've got two beautiful little faint star-like objects that are coming into view maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes after your local sunset, very low to the western horizon. Two planets, Mercury and Mars. See how close they appear together? And they're very close to the setting sun because look, 1 hour before, there's the sun. Even Venus is there, but Venus is now lost in the glare of the sun. You have no hope of seeing Venus really. But if you wait just an hour after sunset, this is what you'll see. And you see how close they appear, right? Now, here's Mercury right there. And if we want to see it an orbital view, check this out. So we're going to magically go off of the Earth. And this will explain why Mercury and Mars appear so close in the sky to each other and to our sun. All right, so here's Mercury up close. But if we kind of zoom out, let's see if we can do that. Let me see here. There we go. We're zooming out. That line that you see stretching all those circular lines, those are the orbits of the planets. There's the sun at the center. There's Earth where we're located, right? So imagine from our line of sight, right? And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. From our line of sight, where are these planets? There's Mars up here. There's Mercury. There's the sun. There's Venus, right? So while from Earth, we're looking after sunset, you'll see Venus is really close to the sun. See, it's probably lost to us because of how close it is to the glare of the setting sun. But look where Mercury is. And from our line of sight, right? So here I am. Look where Mercury is and Mars. Did you see that, how close they appear to each other in the sky? And they are away from the sun. So they're visible. They're far enough away so that they are visible. That is the location of the planets Mars and Mercury in their relative orbits around the sun. And then if we go magically back to Earth, there we are. There's Mercury, there's Mars. The sun is just below the horizon. So great opportunity to see these planets. Now, what else is going on? Of course, I'm probably sure if you do pay attention to your social media, you've probably seen around the news mention about a supermoon, the super sturgeon moon that is going to be rising tonight, August 1st. It's the first full moon of August, and it's known as the sturgeon full moon, especially here in North America. This is one of the names that is popularized. Sturgeon is, of course, a freshwater, very, very large species of fish in lakes and rivers that exist, and the fishing of them are particularly good in the month of August. So that's where that name comes from for the moon. So if we go right after sunset, you watch for the full moon to rise in the southeast. So just turn your back to where the sun sets and watch for that full moon to rise. Now, the moon is considered as a supermoon because it is slightly larger and slightly brighter than normal, the average full moon. Is this going to be very evident to you? Questionable. Some people say they do notice that it's brighter and a little bit bigger. Others can't see it. So don't fret, but it is gorgeous to see a full moon rise. And that is what's in store for us tonight. It's a beautiful full moon. It's considered a supermoon, or technically astronomers call it a perigee full moon. Perigee referring to when the moon is at its closest point to Earth. And apogee, the opposite, is when it's farthest away. So at perigee, the moon is considered super full moon tonight, and you're going to be able to see this beautiful full moon rising in the southeast. And hey, check out this really neat phenomenon. Sometimes the full moon, when it's close to the horizon, will give an optical illusion where it appears even larger than normal. So think of this. So this is actually something that the human brain kind of does this effect. So what I want you to do is really to show that it isn't in fact any larger at the horizon than it is up when it's higher in the sky. Take your thumb, hold it out, outstretched like that, and cover the disk of the moon, okay, with your thumb. And then you'll be able to notice how big it is, and then do that exercise again a couple of hours later when the moon is higher up. You'll notice that there is no change. The disk of the moon is exactly the same size, close to the Earth's horizon or farther up in the sky. So it's just an optical illusion the human brain does. Why does it do it? We think it has something to do with the foreground objects of maybe trees, buildings, lakes, and mountains, and the horizon, the terrain superimposed with the moon on top of the moon kind of confuses the mind and makes the moon appear larger. Also, look for a shading of the moon. You know, with all these smoke particles in the air because of these awful fires, these forest fires raging across in northern Canada, they're still floating in the upper atmosphere. So expectations could be that we could get more yellowy, orange-colored moons, full moon, tonight as it rises. Look for that close to the horizon. We're looking through a thicker column of air close to the horizon, so there's a lot of smoke particles that are refracting the light and basically creating this orange-red effect. It's the same science behind why sunsets look so orangey and red in color sometimes. So that is something to look forward to with the Sturgeon supermoon coming. And guess what? August has another full moon. On August 30th, the end of the month, there is a second full moon, and that one is called a blue moon. Whenever you have a second full moon in a single month, in 1 month, that second full moon is called a blue moon. It's not really blue. It doesn't look blue. Mind you, you can get a blue moon. It does happen, but that's for a different reason. That has to do with smoke particles probably, or volcanic ash in the upper atmosphere, and it creates this bluish, icy blue effect. It could happen, but that is an atmospheric effect. But the fact that we have a second full moon in August, on August 30th, that one is called a blue moon. And it'll also be a super one. It'll be close, at perigee, that moon, about 50,000 kilometers closer to us. And during a supermoon, we expect something like about 10 to 20% brighter, about 7-10% larger in size, the disk of the moon. Is it noticeable to you? I don't know. Go outside and check it out and compare it to other months of the moon. Can you notice the difference? Most people, I don't think, will. I don't think you will, and I know I have a hard time finding. But hey, it's cool. Full moons are neat. If you haven't seen one, August one is just gorgeous. Do go out and look. So I have that for you guys to look at. I'm going to put it back to the planetarium program. Here is that full moon that is gracing the skies, and what it'll be neat also. Let me just zoom out a little bit here for us. What I want you to notice is that there's Saturn also. In the planet Saturn is rising in the east. Saturn later this month, towards the end of the month, will go through opposition later in August, meaning it'll be at its brightest and largest through telescopes. That's something we'll talk more about later in August when the time comes, but keep an eye on Saturn. And if you have an access to a telescope, August is a great time to watch Saturn. But the moon is going to guide us towards that. So if we go forward in time, this is Tuesday, August 1st, where the moon is in the southeast. By Wednesday, tomorrow night, the moon will be pairing up with Saturn. So just after sunset, later in the night, as the moon goes up, glides through the sky, higher up, it'll be a near full moon, waning. It'll be next to Saturn. Just a gorgeous setup between these two worlds, vastly different worlds, in the constellation Aquarius. That's where all this action is going to be happening. Saturn and the moon. And if we go further in the week, look at Thursday, Friday. Those of you with very strong binoculars, dark skies, maybe a small telescope, great opportunity to maybe catch sight of Neptune, the farthest major planet in the solar system. Neptune is currently, right now, 4.3 billion kilometers away. That means that light takes 242 minutes to reach your eye from Neptune. It'll be next to the moon. The glare of the moon means it's going to be difficult to see. You'll need a telescope, probably use the moon as a guidepost, and then kind of move your telescope off a few degrees to the northeast of that, northwest, I should say, and you will see Neptune. So Neptune and the moon will be together in the sky. Again, this is Friday night, the 4th of August. And if we kind of go a little bit higher in the sky later at night, so after midnight, into the early morning hours, again after midnight, this is around 1 o'clock. Look at that. You've got Jupiter there too. So if you're up very late, you'll see that. But what's very cool is if we go forward in days, again, you see where the moon is right now. Let me just fix that there. You see the moon on Friday is next to Neptune. But if we go Saturday, okay, and Sunday, so this is Sunday morning, all right, and this is going to be Monday morning. Tuesday morning next week is the moon is going to be next to Jupiter. So this is on early morning of August 8th. So this is Tuesday. So that's something I'll talk about next week as well. But I wanted to give you a hint. Circle that on your calendar. It's really beautiful. Because Jupiter is so immensely bright in the sky, the pairing is quite neat. It's one of my favorite ones. I mean, I've been doing observing, I honestly, I've been doing sky observing for 4 decades. And I can tell you, Jupiter and the moon, I mean, they're like old friends when they come together like that. It is exquisite. It's a great photo opportunity too. So check that out on the 8th of August. So I'm just giving you a tour like what you can see like that. Of course, with the full moon, really, this is what is best. I mean, you've got the Milky Way running across the southern sky, high up overhead. It'll be difficult to see because of that full moon. But there is something you can see is try and, becoming familiar with the night sky. There's some certain milestones that you need to kind of guideposts that you need to look at. And I think the summer triangle is one of the best starting points. Just look straight up. If you're in the northern hemisphere, straight up in as close to the zenith as possible. You'll see high up in the sky. This is, again, late at night, say maybe around 11, 12 o'clock at night. You will see a collection of 3 stars, bright stars. The one closest to the overhead sky will be Deneb, then the brighter one will be Vega, and then the faintest of the 3 is Altair. These 3 stars mark this beautiful thing called the summer triangle. It's called an asterism. It's a pattern of 3 stars that the human eye kind of naturally forms. It's not a constellation. But it's another good example of an asterism is a Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is part of Ursa Major, the Great Bear, but the Big Dipper is not a constellation. It's called an asterism. And just like this, the summer triangle. And each of those bright stars in the summer triangle that you see here, including Deneb, Vega, and Altair, all 3 of them are, they mark their own constellation. So it's a great 3-for-1 deal. Just try to find that 3 stars sometime, any clear night over the next week, and we'll revisit it again in next week's episode when we get darker skies and the moon is going to be out of the way and we can really start investigating constellations. This week, it's all about the aurora. It's all about the planets and the moon, right? We're talking about the moon and allowing the moon to guide us to those planets, those bright planets, sunset planets of Mercury and Mars to see this week. That's a tight window, though, because you got to go out soon after sunset before the planets also set following the sun, and try to view the summer triangle. 3 bright stars, even despite the glare of the moon, they should be visible. They're very bright, even under suburban skies. Even if you have some light pollution, you can see that. So there's a whole bunch of things for us to watch. I hope you get to go outside, get some clear skies, take a few moments, 15 minutes, grab some time for yourself, some Zen time, and go outside and view these things. They're a lot of fun, especially if you have children and family and friends. It's a great time. And of course, we're gearing up to the big meteor shower, right? On the 12th and 13th, the Perseid meteor shower. That's like a family favorite, and it should be a really good show. Mark that down on your calendar. The Perseid shower peaking on the 12th and 13th. Do go out for that. So a lot of stuff. Now, if you're interested in astronomy, do check out my book, Backyard Guide to the Night Sky, out by National Geographic. It is a bestseller on Amazon. Generally ranks within the top 5 or 3 books about the subject, about stargazing. It's great for beginners, intermediate folks. It fits in your backpack. It's small, soft cover, and it's filled with all kinds of great ways to get oriented with the night sky. Even if you're a rank beginner and you don't know anything about it, it's a good guidebook to do that. And I'm selling signed, dedicated copies on my website, thenightskyguy.com. So check that out if you want to give this as it's a great gift item. Something a little bit more meaty, Stargazer's Atlas. It's 6.5 pounds, a large coffee table book. So this ain't something that you're going to put in your backpack or travel with. This is something that you'll sit maybe at your leisure on the sofa and kind of get a feel of humanity's connection to the night sky and sort of map out maybe your own journey of where you're going to go and look at stuff in the night sky, where you're going to actually travel through using your telescopes or your binoculars or anything like that. So also I'm selling signed, dedicated copies of my Stargazer's Atlas, which I'm a co-author, very proud of, out by National Geographic. A lot of stuff. Hey, listen, if you've got any value out of this video, if you find this valuable, fun, learning a few things, it means so much if you subscribe to my channel, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X. What do we call it now? I'm still calling it Twitter. Anyways, wherever you're watching, give me a thumbs up, like the video, share it, and please do subscribe. It allows me to bring these videos into your homes and every week, and I love to share my passion with you. So with that, thanks so much. I hope you stay safe and healthy, have some great time under the stars, and until the next video, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.